Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing another empties / project pan / haul type video where I tell you about the products that I have finished up completely, and I talk about whether I would repurchase them or not and what I will be using now that they're gone. And then I talk about, if I have purchased anything to replace them or what products I have hauled. So I have two products that I have finished recently. One of them is the Burt's Bees Naturally Ageless Line Smoothing Eye Cream, and the other is the Secret Invisible Solid pH Balanced Deodorant in the Powder Fresh scent. So I'm going to break both of these down individually and tell you how that worked out. So I will do the Burt's Bees first. My history with Burt's Bees is that I had a lip balm, years ago that I used up, and when I went to replace the lip balm, they were supposed to still be sold at Walmart stores, but my Walmart store didn't carry it anymore, and I had looked at quite a few different places that sold Burt's Bees, and I just couldn't find them locally, and I just wasn't gonna order it online. So I decided to try something different. So while I was at my CVS, I picked up this eye cream to try, and I do believe it was on clearance at the time that I tried it, or that I bought it, and so I wasn't really sure if it was being discontinued or if CVS was just discontinuing or what have you. And so I started to use this, and it was just basically, the kind of eye cream that comes in a pot, and I really didn't care for it that much. I had been using prior to this, I had been using a product that was a holy grail for me that did really good things for fine lines that I was starting to get or had been getting for quite some time, that also had SPF in it. So when I purchased this, I was already kind of bummed that this didn't have SPF in it, and it is hard to find. I'm having trouble talking today. It is hard to find eye creams that have SPF, mainly because if you get them in your eyes, it burns. So I think some people avoid it because of that, but you're not supposed to rub eye cream on like this anyway. So you just have to be kind of careful. So I was already kind of, man, because it doesn't have SPF in it. But I found that it really just didn't do much for me. And actually, kind of partway through using this, I purchased more of my Holy Grail, and I went back to my Holy Grail. And I usually don't do that. I usually, when I'm using something, I use it pretty much from start to finish, unless, something happens, like if I moved or something and it got put in a box and I couldn't find it, I might start using something else until I found it again or something like that. But generally, I'm kind of a start to finish kind of girl for the most part, other than trying new things, out of my own curiosity or for you guys or what have you. So, this cream did, when you put it on, like if you're out of the shower or just wash your face, when you first put it on, it feels good because it is, it's cool feeling and it's wet, and so you are putting some moisture back where you might be starting to dry out. But I found that it doesn't do anything really for fine lines, which is why I went back to using my Holy Grail halfway through, because my fine lines were coming back, and I felt like they were coming back, worse than they were. So, it does feel good when you first put it on, and it does provide, some moisture where there was none. But, it's not like a thick cream. It doesn't put on what you can tell is sort of a barrier that will trap moisture in. It really just kind of is a topical moistness that just feels good when you're applying it, but I don't know that it really had super long-term, benefits. Now, the Holy Grail product that I was using, I used it up, and it's a product that was discontinued. So when it was gone and discontinued, I went back to finish this up. And I didn't mind using it, and it's not necessarily a product that I wouldn't have bought again. And in fact, I did look online because I wasn't quite sure whether this was a product, like I said before, that had been discontinued or was already discontinued at the time that I bought it. You can still find this online. They do show that this is still sold at Walmart stores. I did not go to my Walmart store, though, to see if I could find it. I decided to look on the Burt's Bees line, on the Burt's Bees website, to see if they still had it listed. and they don't list it anymore. So, you know, I think it is a discontinued product, and if you're finding jars of it, it's probably just what is left over. If you're curious about it, though, you know, I mean, you know, I wouldn't tell somebody not to use it, and it is a good one for, I think, probably a young girl who doesn't really need, you know, anything that fills or puffs the area, or doesn't need line fillers at all, that just needs a little moisture, you know, after her shower, after washing her face. She just needs to put something on there that's a little cool and soothing and makes it feel good again. This is perfect for that. So, you know, my CVS didn't have any more. I decided to go back to my CVS where I bought it originally, and of course they didn't have it. So, my history with Burt's Bees has really not been that great. When Burt's Bees first came out, I thought it was like a fun concept. The packaging was cute. You know, I liked the little sets that they had. But I've never really found a product from them that I just love. And, you know, they are considered a more natural product, and sometimes, you know, we have to be honest and say that the reason we come up with chemicals and things that do stuff is because they work better than the natural products that were available before. And so sometimes if you're going back to a natural product, sometimes you have to realize that they just are not going to perform the same, or maybe sometimes as well as man-made products. You know, but the hope is that you also maybe won't have long-term side effects or any kind of, you know, be using ingredients that we later find out are bad for us or whatever. But back to Burt's Bees, my experience with them is I've never really fallen in love with a product that I've used with them, and their products don't seem to stick around for very long in a lot of cases. And so, you know, I think they do really well with new concept packaging and they draw people in. But I feel like I'm gonna struggle with them to find, you know, like a product that I just use continually over the years. But that being said, I didn't have any other Burt's Bees products anymore. You know, I own a lot of, you know, a lot of stuff in the beauty industry. But this was the last of my Burt's Bees products, as far as I know. I might have a cuticle cream still, or maybe, yeah, I think I might still have a cuticle cream. I had a kit in the past, and I may still have some bits and pieces floating around from that, but no actual individual product that I bought by itself. And so I wanted to try something else. So I literally just picked up the first thing at the Burt's Bees display to try. So I will show you that in a minute. But in the meantime, the sort of project pan portion, I guess, of this video, because I do now need to use something, you know, to replace this, is that I made a small bulk purchase of some products. They're products that I sell. And so I had one of these on hand, and this is the product that I've never used before. So, you know, technically this is me kind of project panning, using up something that I already own. And it's the new Ultimate Multi-Performance Eye System. This is by Avon. So this is already, it comes in a box. I've already taken it out of the box because I have started using it. So if this is something you're interested in, like a full review of, then let me know in the comments or give this video a thumbs up or something, and I will, you know, talk about that in a future video if you'd like. But this is what I will now be using in the morning and at night as my eye cream. And this is a two-step system. Okay, so then back to the haul part of the conversation. Like I said, because I wanted to try something new for me by Burt's Bees, I literally just, I went back to CVS, which is where I bought this from, and I literally just grabbed the first thing that was on the Burt's Bees display because it's not something that I own, and so it didn't really matter what I grabbed to try. And so it ends up that I will be trying the Burt's Bees Beeswax Lip Balm with vitamin E and peppermint. It's listed as 100% natural. Our signature lip balm formulated with beeswax to naturally help protect lips, antioxidant vitamin E to moisturize, and peppermint oil to soothe your lips. So, beeswax, vitamin E, and peppermint oil. And one thing I will caution you of is if you are allergic to bees or bee stings, don't try this because you will most likely be allergic to beeswax. A lot of people don't know that. So these are not products you can use or you should try if you're allergic to bees. But beeswax is a very common lip balm base, and it's one of the bases that was used. A wax was used kind of back in the day. So that's not necessarily a new concept, but it's the natural version of lip balms these days. So this is what I'll be trying. So if you're curious what I think about this when I start using it, then comment below, and I'll come back and maybe do a review on that. Okay, so the next empty that I told you is the Secret Invisible Solid. The one I had here is Powder Fresh. And if you know my history of deodorants, you know that Avon deodorants are my holy grail. They're $1.50 most of the time on sale because they're like $1.99 full price. And I used to use Secret when I was younger. Secret was notorious for turning your armpits of like your white shirts yellow. And so I really kind of stopped using it. I used it here and there kind of over the years since then, but I pretty much stopped using it. Avon has just been my holy grail. So I tried a gel version of Secret again not too long ago because I thought, I need to give them another shot. And then when I did an Empties from that, I decided to try another one. And you guys, if you've been following me, you know that I'm not a proponent of solid deodorants. They can and do, and I can tell you from experience, and dermatologists a lot of times will tell you that these are not the best thing to use because they can and do clog the pores in your armpits. They clog pores, they clog the hair the place where the hair grows out, the hair follicle, not the hair follicle, the hair, what is that called? I'm having a brain fart. Anyway, they can clog up the skin, and it can cause a lot of problems, even like, things that kind of end up being almost cystic. Just because of how you apply it. You're basically smushing it into the pores. So, once you get a plug started, you just keep adding to it, and adding to it, and adding to it, and it can be a real problem. And I will say that I do still think that Secret, the gel, I decided I was not going to wear the gel with any of my white shirts because I just didn't want to sacrifice them for the sake of experimentation. But using this, I decided I would try it, and I am having yellowing of the armpits of my clothes again. Now, some laundry detergents can do that as well, but, I have to kind of say with the timing leads me to believe it's probably this. Okay, but that being said, the deodorant itself worked well for me. I did not have problems with it kind of wearing off after a period of time. The scent is called Powder Fresh, and it is a powdery scent. I find it to be almost a fruity powdery scent, if you can make that work out in your brain to understand what I mean. It leans a little on a fruity floral side, but it is a powder base, like baby powder. The one thing that was a little weird with this for me was that this is one that I often sort of had that feeling like, did I forget to put deodorant on? Because usually deodorant, if you've ever forgotten to put deodorant on, the way that I am always suddenly aware that I did that is that my skin sort of feels like it's sticking together. It's not a sweaty thing. It's just that, I don't know, the skin where it's touching just kind of, sticks together, and I kind of go, oh, I forgot to put deodorant on, and you run back in and put it on. I find myself feeling that way when I use this a lot. I'm like, and many times I have done let me check, is there deodorant residue things. I've done that with probably a handful of times since I was during the time that I was using this. So, it's not necessarily one that makes your armpits feel like smooth or moisturized or soft. Yeah, that sort of feeling of the skin, I hate to say sticking together because it makes it sound like sticky is not the word that I really want to think of, but you know, I don't know a better way to say it. That never really goes away when you're using this one. The gel works a little better on that, but I did have some issues with the gel with that too. But anyway, all in all though, as far as effectiveness, this did work, and I probably will avoid wearing white shirts when I'm using this, but for all intents and purposes it was fine. And again, I still am not a proponent really of using solid deodorants, but a lot of you are going to use solid and you're just not going to try anything else, or you just don't want to adapt to using a roll-on or whatever. So if that is you, then this might be one that you would want to try, especially if you don't wear a lot of white shirts. Okay, so in the meantime, I am going to go back. I have some other Avon deodorants, but they're in a box and I'm not sure where they are. So I need to find them. But I did know where this was. So I'm actually going to be going back and kind of project panning, but just using, this is the one I used before. This is the Secret Clear Gel. It's the Outlast version in the Completely Clean scent. So I'm going to go back and use another bottle of this. These come at my CVS. They come in 2 packs of 2. So I had one of those. And then from the haul side of things, I did go ahead and repurchase the Invisible Solid again, because I find that when I'm comparing deodorants, it takes so long to use one up that I can sometimes forget how it performed. And if I only use it one time, it makes it really hard for me to keep in my mind down the road what I thought about it when I want to compare. So I am going to kind of set it aside so that I can use it again, so I can keep the results sort of fresh in my mind. And another thing too is I also feel like sometimes people over time adapt to deodorants and they maybe don't work as well for them anymore. It's not so much that they're adapting to the deodorant as your body chemistry just, you know, changes. Your hormones change, your stress levels change, what you're eating changes, a lot of things change. And so I also kind of want to see over time if I have any, you know, any changes in how this works. So I am going to use it again down the line. And then I also decided to try another version of it. And so this is the exact same thing. It's the Secret Invisible Solid pH Balance. The only difference is this is the Clean Lavender scent. So I will be trying this one down the line because I find, and a lot of people experience, that a deodorant in one scent will work for them, but a different scent doesn't. So I decided I wanted to try another scent of it and see if I have different results, or you know, if I just prefer one scent over the other, or what have you. So I will be trying that. Okay, so I think that's everything as far as what I wanted to tell you about those. So if you have any questions or if there's anything I didn't cover, then go ahead and ask me down in the comments. And if you like these kind of videos, be sure to thumbs up the video so that I know that you like them and that I know that you want me to keep doing them. I prefer this over just a regular Empties video because for a lot of reasons, and I've talked about those in detail before, but I think it shows you the progression of my product usage better, and it shows you my full thought process better, and I think I give you a more detailed review when I do it this way than if I just store up, you know, 100 empty things and I maybe can't even remember anymore what I thought about them. Okay? So, I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for watching, and thank you for being here with me, and let me know how you're doing in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!